So you want to start making wigs and you don't know where to start. Let's start right from the beginning. The first thing you need to know is how to work your sewing machine. So today I am going to be showing you the ins and the outs of your sewing machine. Let's get started. The machine I'm using is the Singer Digital Heavy Duty. Of course, you can use whatever machine you want, but I prefer the heavy duty ones. First, we are going to slide off that bottom tray. It is not needed when it comes to making wigs. Next, this is our foot pedal, aka known as our gas. This is what makes the machine go. It sits on the floor and you press your feet on it. It has a standard jack to it and a standard plug. So let's go over to the side. That is where you will plug in your foot. And then here is where you will plug in your power. So once you have those attached, you can now turn it on and your machine should turn on. And if you have a display screen, it will light up. This is a digital one, so all of the instructions is built inside of the machine. Here is where you drop the needle down, up, and down if you need to. You can also do it by turning left to right on the side. Here is where it will actually knot the thread for you, and here it will actually cut the thread for you. Next, we have our speed adjustment, meaning how fast or how slow the actual machine will stitch. Here is where our bobbing gets rebobbed at. Here is where we place our actual thread and the cap that holds the thread into place. Next, we move on to our tension, and this means how tight or how loose the actual thread is. Next, this machine has an automatic play button. Most machines don't. And down here is an automatic reverse. Here is a manual reverse for people that have it. You just hold it down and it reverses it. Here is where the bobbin actually sits at. So you'll have the machine needs the bobbin and cannot work without the bobbin. Those two threads lock together, which holds your stitching into place, and it pops out simple and easy just by pressing whatever release button that it has on the side. And also, most bobbin plates have the directions on it on which way the thread should be facing because most people forget. And in the back is a level where you will release to change out your feet for different projects. I use the open foot. It simply works on all of my sewing projects. I don't make clothes with my machine. I only make wigs with them. But your needle sits up in here, and this button right here is what drops down the actual foot, releases the foot, I should say. And then you hold that same button where my finger is to reattach the foot. Now let's move on to our needle. These are the needles that I like to use, the jean denim needles. Those are the sizes. Again, you can find it at your local craft or fabric store. So the first thing you're going to look for is that it has a smooth side and it has a flat, kind of like rigid side. It's not rigid, but you can feel a difference. You are looking for the flat side. You're just going to stick it up in here. It will glide right in, and then you are going to turn it and tighten up the needle once you have the rough side facing the gauge. So I am now just simply tightening up and making sure it's secure in there. Your sewing machine do have a key which slides right into that slot, but I rarely use mine. This is a thread that I use. You can get it also from your local fabric store. I've been using it for 10 years and I really like it. But if you have a brand that you like, please drop it in the comments and I will try it. This is our bobbin and we are going to be threading that now. The first thing we're going to do is slide our thread onto the main house, and then we are going to start by looping the thread around the hole. So I'm going to do that again. So you're going to pull the thread towards you and you're kind of going to be going into like a figure eight type motion. It's not that hard. Don't overthink it. Just kind of like bring it through and just loop it back over, just like I did in the video. Then you're going to find the end of the thread and take it and push it through your bobbin case. It should be up. Now there's a hole on either side, but it should be going up just like I have it right here in the video. You're going to pull enough to give you some extra slack, and then we will take our bobbin and put it onto the slot, this silver slot right here, And then once you have it pushed down, you are going to push it towards the right and it will connect right underneath that white piece there. And then you're going to wrap it around your finger like once or twice. Now, here's what is important. You're going to press your gas pedal. Keep it at the same speed. Don't slow down or don't speed up. Your bobbin will bunch and it will make it useless. As it turns, it will pop. Now, you don't want that thread wrapped around your finger super tight, just enough where the tension will pop it. And then once it's filled, most machines will automatically stop. You will cut the thread, and now you have a fully threaded bobbin. So let's move on and thread the actual machine. So we are going to unloop this because this is only for the bobbin. And we are going to take our thread and we are going to go through this eye and pull it down. And then you're going to loop it back up and you're going to make sure the thread goes through this eye. And we will pull it down towards the needle. Keep in mind, every machine typically has how to thread it built right on the machine, meaning you cannot wipe it off. Those instructions are right there. So now let's thread our needle. I just simply put my finger in back of the eye and I can stick the thread through. It's been working for me so far like this. This machine actually is a self threader. It's just a little bit more faster for me to manually thread it. So once you have it threaded, I take the excess thread and put it behind that hook. Now back to our bobbin. Let's reopen the case and stick our bobbin in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is drop it in the direction set. The thread should be pulling towards the right. So that's what it's doing. Then you're going to shift over to your left and drop it underneath that eye. And then you will loop it over and there is a built-in razor that will cut the thread. After you cut your thread, you just want to re-put the cap back on. Then you're going to go over and manually crank your needle down. This way it will pull up the thread from the bobbin. Then you're going to take a pair of tweezers to pull that thread out. Once you pull that thread up, your sewing machine is all set and ready to go. So let's do some practice runs. See you in the next video. And like always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments.